The 1957 VDB Wheat Penny, a small copper coin that many people overlook, has become one of the most talked about coins among collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into this fascinating coin, its history, errors, and how some of these pennies have reached an incredible market value of $84,000. Yes, that's right. A 1-cent coin from 1957 can now be worth a fortune if it has the right features and condition. So, if you have an old jar of coins at home, you might want to take a closer look, because one of these could change your life forever. The story of the 1957 VDB Wheat Penny begins at the Denver Mint, where over 1 billion of these coins were produced. With such a massive mintage, it's easy to assume that every 1957 VDB penny is common, but what truly sets certain coins apart are rare minting errors and pristine conditions that make collectors go wild. Most of these pennies are made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which gives them their signature reddish-brown color. On the front, or obverse, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, who first created this design back in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the back, or reverse, are 2 wheat stalks curving along the sides, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, giving it the name Wheat Penny. Even though the 1957 VDB penny was one of the last in the wheat cent series before the design changed to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959, it still holds immense popularity among collectors. But why would anyone pay $84,000 for a penny that millions of people once carried in their pockets? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, error types, and the coin's condition. For instance, coins that are in mint state, meaning they show no signs of wear, can already fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars. But when you combine perfect preservation with a rare minting error, the value skyrockets. One of the most famous and desirable errors in the 1957 VDB Wheat Penny is the double die. This happens when the coin's design is struck twice on the die at slightly different angles, creating a shadow or double effect on the lettering or design. If you look closely at the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," or the date, 1957, and notice any doubling, you might have a very valuable coin in your hands. Another valuable error is the repunched mint mark, often referred to as RPM. This occurs when the Denver D mint mark was accidentally punched more than once in slightly different positions. Under magnification, this error can be seen as a double or even triple image of the letter D. Collectors are also interested in off-center strikes, where the design isn't properly aligned on the coin blank, leaving part of the surface blank. Depending on how much of the design is missing, these off-center 1957 VDB Wheat pennies can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And then there are die cracks, clipped planchets, and other striking anomalies that make each coin unique in its own way. The condition of the coin is another key factor that determines value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. A grade of 1 means the coin is barely identifiable, while a perfect 70 indicates a flawless specimen with no marks, scratches, or discoloration. The 1957 VDB Wheat pennies that have fetched huge prices at auction, sometimes over $80,000, are those in near-perfect mint state condition, often with brilliant red luster that makes them look freshly minted even after more than 6 decades. If you happen to come across a 1957 VDB penny that looks shiny and has very sharp details, it's worth checking if it could qualify as a high-grade coin. Uncirculated examples graded MS65 red or higher can already be worth hundreds of dollars. Those graded MS67 red or above can cross into the thousands. And when a coin with rare errors, perfect strike, and strong color comes up for sale, collectors compete aggressively, driving the price into the tens of thousands or more. One remarkable example involved a 1957 VDB Wheat penny that sold at auction for over $84,000. This particular coin was graded MS67 plus red by PCGS, meaning it was virtually flawless with a fiery red copper tone and no visible marks under magnification. Its brilliance, combined with a unique minting characteristic, made it one of the finest known examples of its kind. For many coin collectors, finding such a piece is like striking gold, When we think about coins like the 1957 Wheat Penny, it's important to remember that their true value isn't just in their metal content, which is only worth a few cents, but in their rarity, history, and demand. Every coin tells a story of the time it was made. In the late 1950s, the United States was experiencing economic growth, and pennies were in everyday circulation. No one thought twice about these coins. People used them to buy candy, newspapers, or pay exact change at the corner store. But decades later, as collectors began to notice rare varieties and pristine examples surviving in untouched rolls or mint sets, the humble 1957 penny gained a new life as a collector's treasure. So how can you tell if your 1957 penny might be worth something significant? Start by examining the coin closely under good light, or using a magnifying glass. Check the color first. If it still has its original reddish-orange shine, that's a good sign. Next, look for any doubling in the date or lettering, especially around "In God We Trust." Then, check the D mint mark for signs of repunching. If it looks like the letter has been struck more than once, it could be a repunched mint mark error. Also, inspect the coin's edges for any irregularities or parts of the design that seem off-center. If your coin looks promising, consider having it graded by a professional service. Grading can authenticate the coin and assign it a condition level, which helps determine its market value. A coin that's authenticated and encapsulated in a sealed holder by a trusted grading company can be worth significantly more than an ungraded one. Now, if you're wondering where you might find one of these valuable 1957 Wheat pennies, you don't have to go too far. Many people have found rare coins in jars, old dressers, or even in their grandparents' collections. Estate sales, flea markets, and antique shops can also be excellent places to hunt for hidden treasures. You never know when you might come across a coin that someone else has overlooked. The most amazing thing about coins like the 1957 Wheat Penny is how they remind us that even the smallest things can hold incredible value. It's not just about money, it's about history, preservation, and discovery. Every coin collector dreams of finding that one rare piece that changes everything. And for some, that dream has already come true. Imagine discovering a small penny that turns out to be worth tens of thousands of dollars, a coin that could pay off debts, buy a car, or even fund your future. But the journey doesn't end there. Coin collecting is also about passion and learning. Each coin you examine teaches you something about America's past, from its design changes to the technological improvements in minting and the economic moments that shaped its production. The 1957 Wheat Penny marks the end of an era before the transition to the memorial reverse design in 1959, making it a piece of American history you can hold in your hand. So, as you look through your change or inherited coin collections, don't rush past those old wheat pennies. Take your time, study them carefully, and you might just find a treasure among them. Even if you don't find one worth $84,000, you could still have a coin valued at hundreds or thousands of dollars. And who knows, maybe one day, your discovery will be the next headline in the world of numismatics. Collectors around the world are still searching for that perfect 1957 Wheat penny, the one that stands out in brilliance, condition, and rarity. With millions of coins struck, it's astonishing how only a handful remain in pristine state today. Time, circulation, and handling have worn most of them down, but those few that survived untouched are now worth their weight in gold, or perhaps even more. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass handy, and your curiosity alive. The next time you come across a 1957 Wheat penny, remember that it could be much more than just 1 cent. It could be a hidden fortune, a link to history, and a story waiting to be told. And who knows, maybe your next find could be the one worth $84,000 or more. The possibilities are endless when it comes to rare coins, and that's what makes collecting them so exciting. Every coin has a mystery, a secret, and a history. And sometimes, it takes just one lucky discovery to turn that history into your future. So start checking your pennies today. That little copper coin could be your ticket to something extraordinary. The 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever produced by the United States Mint. At first glance, It looks like any ordinary old penny, but collectors and numismatists know that there's something truly special about it. Today, we're diving deep into the history, design, errors, and market value of the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny coin, which is currently valued at an astonishing $999,000 for the rarest examples in pristine condition. So if you have an old jar of pennies lying around, or if you inherited a collection from your parents or grandparents, this is one coin you might want to take a closer look at, because it could change your life. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1941 wheat penny was minted during a very interesting time in American history, right before the United States entered World War II. The coin was part of the long-running Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The designer of the coin was Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, can sometimes be found on the reverse side of earlier issues. By 1941, the wheat penny had already been in circulation for over 3 decades, and it remained one of the most common coins used in everyday life. However, among these billions of coins, some special ones were struck differently, and those are the ones collectors seek today. The no-mint mark 1941 wheat penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During this time, coins made in Philadelphia did not carry a mint mark, which is why you won't see a letter like D or S on these coins. The Denver Mint coins were marked with AD, and the San Francisco Mint coins carried an S. So if you look at your penny and see no mint mark below the date, that means it came from Philadelphia. While most of these coins were made in huge quantities, only a small number of them have survived in exceptional condition, or with rare minting errors, and those are the ones that can be worth an incredible amount of money. The obverse side of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed to honor the 16th President of the United States. Above Lincoln's head are the words, "In God We Trust," a motto that has appeared on all U.S. coins for more than a century. To the left of Lincoln's portrait is the word, "Liberty," and to the right is the date, 1941. The reverse side of the coin displays 2 wheat stalks curving along the edges, giving the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. Between these stalks are the words 1 cent and United States of America. At the top, you'll also find the phrase, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. This design is one of the most iconic and recognizable in U.S. coinage history. Now let's talk about what makes some 1941 no-mint mark pennies so valuable. While billions were produced, most were used for everyday transactions and became worn over time. However, a small percentage were either preserved in uncirculated condition or contained minting errors that make them extremely rare. It's these special examples that can be worth thousands, or even close to $1 million today. Collectors love coins that are unique, or have a story behind them, and the 1941 wheat penny delivers on both counts. One of the key factors that determine the value of a 1941 wheat penny is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS70. A heavily worn coin that's been in circulation for decades might only be worth a few cents, but a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition can be worth thousands. Coins graded MS67 or MS68 are exceptionally rare, and some of these examples have sold for tens of thousands of dollars at major coin auctions. The record-breaking sales have shown that collectors are willing to pay premium prices for the finest examples available. One particularly well-preserved 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny was sold for nearly $1 million because of its flawless strike, stunning luster, and immaculate surfaces. In addition to condition, errors play a huge role in determining a coin's value. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin production process. These can include double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. A double die error means the design was accidentally stamped twice, slightly off from the original impression, creating a shadow or doubling effect on the letters or numbers. For example, if the word Liberty or the date 1941 appears doubled, it can make your coin extremely valuable. Off-center errors happen when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during striking, resulting in a partial design. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Coins with missing letters, cracked edges, or repunch dates are also sought after by collectors. The composition of the 1941 wheat penny also adds to its historical charm. It's made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. During World War II, the U.S. Mint switched from copper to steel in 1943 to save copper for wartime production, making the 1941 issue one of the last pre-war copper pennies. Because of this, these coins symbolize a time just before the major economic and industrial shifts of the 1940s. That adds an extra layer of historical importance that collectors find appealing. If you want to know whether your 1941 penny could be valuable, you should start by checking its condition and looking for any signs of errors. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the date, the lettering, and Lincoln's features. Look closely for any doubling, cracks, or unusual marks. Next, check if it has strong details and a bright red or reddish-brown color. The more original red color a coin retains, the higher its grade and value. Coins that have been cleaned or damaged can lose significant value, so it's always best to leave your coin as it is and have it professionally graded if you believe it's rare. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC can certify your coin and assign it an official grade, which greatly affects its market value. A graded coin is easier to sell and usually brings a higher price. For example, a 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny graded MS67 red can fetch anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, while a near-perfect MS68 red can easily reach over $99,000 or more, depending on demand and the coin's eye appeal. The demand for the 1941 wheat penny remains strong because it represents an era when the United States was on the brink of massive change. It connects collectors to history and tells the story of a nation entering a new age. Many coin enthusiasts love the Lincoln Wheat series because of its rich history, variety of mint marks, and potential for discovering rare treasures in old collections or change jars. Let's talk about where you might find one of these coins today. Many people still find 1941 pennies in circulation or old coin jars because billions were made. However, the vast majority are heavily worn and worth only a few cents. But every so often, someone discovers a rare uncirculated example or an error coin tucked away for decades. That's why it's so exciting to check your coins carefully. You never know when you might find that one special penny worth a fortune. When selling a valuable 1941 penny, it's important to do your research and avoid quick sale offers that undervalue your coin. Online auction platforms, coin shows, and professional dealers are the best places to sell high-value coins. Always compare prices, get multiple appraisals, and verify the buyer's reputation before finalizing any sale. A coin valued near $1 million deserves expert attention, and with the right connections, you could walk away with a life-changing profit. Collectors often look for coins that are not only rare but also have eye appeal. A coin with beautiful toning, sharp strike, and vibrant red luster can command a much higher price than a dull or spotted coin of the same grade. So, if you find a 1941 penny with a shiny, bright red surface and little to no wear, it could be one of the finest known examples. Over the years, coin collecting has become more than just a hobby. It's an investment. Coins like the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny have proven that even a small 1-cent piece can become a valuable treasure worth thousands, or even millions of dollars. The story of this coin reminds us that value isn't always about size or denomination but about rarity, history, and condition. It's fascinating to think that a simple penny from over 80 years ago could be worth almost $1 million today. Imagine someone back in 1941 using one of these pennies to buy candy, never realizing that same coin could one day be a collector's dream. That's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. The idea that everyday objects hold pieces of history and hidden fortunes waiting to be discovered. If you ever come across a 1941 penny, take the time to inspect it carefully. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever produced by the United States Mint, the 1958 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny. This is not just an ordinary penny that you find in your pocket change. This specific coin has become a collector's dream and is currently valued at an astonishing $940,000. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny worth nearly $1 million. So sit back and stay tuned because we're going to explore everything from its background, history, design, minting details, errors, and what makes this coin so incredibly rare and valuable today. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series holds a very special place in American coinage history. It was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The design by Victor David Brenner was chosen to honor Lincoln's legacy. The obverse side, or the front of the coin, features the iconic right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse, known as the wheat reverse, displays two stylized wheat ears along with the inscriptions, 1 cent, and United States of America. The phrase, e pluribus unum, which means, out of many one, is also engraved at the top. The 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny marks the end of an era, as it was the last year the U.S. Mint produced the Lincoln Wheat Penny design before transitioning to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. This makes the 1958 penny historically significant, representing the close of nearly 50 years of one of America's most beloved coin designs. Most of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark at that time, hence the term no mint mark. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1958 no mint mark penny so incredibly valuable. While millions of these pennies were produced, not all are created equal. The ordinary 1958 wheat penny that you might find in circulation today is worth only a few cents, maybe $1 or $2 in uncirculated condition. However, the extremely rare and special versions of this coin can command mind-blowing prices at auctions. One of the reasons for this massive value jump lies in the condition, minting errors, and dyed varieties that exist for this year. The most famous and highly sought-after variety of the 1958 no-mint mark penny is the 1958 double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice on the die at slightly different angles, resulting in a strong doubling effect on the lettering and numbers. Collectors who have examined this coin under magnification can clearly see the doubling on the words, Liberty, and In God We Trust, as well as on the date, 1958. The doubling is sharp, clear, and extremely bold, making it one of the most dramatic doubled die examples ever known. Only a handful of these 1958 double die no mint mark pennies are known to exist, possibly fewer than 5 confirmed specimens worldwide. This makes it one of the rarest coins in all of U.S. coinage history. When one of these coins appeared at auction, it caused a sensation among collectors. One of the highest graded examples, certified by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, as MS65 Red, sold for a staggering $1.136 million in a private transaction. Other examples in slightly lower grades have fetched prices between $200,000 and $500,000 depending on the level of preservation and color. That's why, in the current market, this coin is estimated to be worth around $940,000. But why is it so valuable? The reason is simple: extreme rarity combined with historical importance and collector demand. The 1958 double-dyed penny was produced at the very end of the wheat penny era. It is also the only major double die known for any wheat penny from the 1950s, making it a true standout. Collectors are always searching for these kinds of coins, and since so few exist, the value continues to rise year after year. Another factor that affects the price of a 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny is its color and condition. Pennies are graded not just on wear but also on their surface color, which can be classified as red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. A fully red penny, which has retained its original mint luster, is far more desirable than a brown one that has toned over the decades. For instance, a 1958 double-dyed penny graded MS65 Red by PCGS or NGC can reach nearly $1 million. Whereas a red-brown version might sell for half that amount. Let's talk a bit about the minting process that created this phenomenon. Back in the 1950s, coin dies were hand-prepared, and the doubling error occurred during the hubbing process, when the die was struck multiple times by the master hub to transfer the design. If the die shifted slightly between impressions, it resulted in doubled design elements. Normally, the mint's quality control would catch such errors before the dies were used in production. However, in the case of the 1958 double-die penny, one or two of these dies somehow made it into use, creating a very limited batch of coins before the error was discovered and corrected. Most of these rare 1958 double-die pennies were likely destroyed or melted down, which explains why so few survive today. The ones that did survive were likely pulled from circulation by sharp-eyed collectors who noticed the strong doubling early on. Since then, these coins have become legends in the world of numismatics, often compared to other iconic errors like the 1955 double-die penny or the 1943 copper Lincoln cent. If you think you might have a valuable 1958 wheat penny, here's how to check. First, look at the obverse under magnification and focus on the inscriptions, Liberty, and In God We Trust. If the letters appear doubled or have a shadow-like effect, you may have something special. Also, check the date, 1958, for strong doubling. Be cautious though, because many fake or altered coins exist. Always have your coin authenticated by a trusted third-party grading service such as PCGS or NGC. Even ordinary 1958 no-mint mark pennies can have collector value depending on their condition. For example, a perfectly preserved uncirculated penny with full red luster can fetch between $20 and $100. Proof-like examples or coins from fresh rolls often command higher prices. But if your penny exhibits any kind of major die error, off-center strike, die cracks, or lamination flaws, it could be worth much more. Collectors love the 1958 wheat penny not only for its value but also because it represents the end of the classic wheat design. From 1909 through 1958, this design witnessed 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and tremendous technological change in America. It's a coin that tells the story of the nation's resilience and progress. The growing interest in rare coin collecting has pushed the values of special coins like this even higher. As more collectors enter the hobby, the demand for unique varieties like the 1958 double-die penny keeps climbing. Experts believe that as time goes on and fewer high-quality examples are available, the price for this coin could surpass $1 million in the near future. So, what should you do if you happen to find a 1958 penny in your change or collection? Don't spend it. Examine it carefully, and if it looks pristine, keep it stored properly. Avoid cleaning it, as cleaning can drastically reduce the coin's value. Store it in a protective holder to prevent oxidation and damage. If you suspect it might be a double die or another rare variety, take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it for grading. It's fascinating to think that a small copper coin weighing just 3.11 grams and measuring 19 millimeters in diameter could hold such incredible value. But that's the magic of numismatics, the world of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story can make you a fortune. The 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny is living proof that even the smallest pieces of history can become priceless treasures. Collectors and investors alike are keeping a close eye on the rare coin market, especially for high-grade wheat pennies. Many people are even searching through their old jars, boxes, and inherited coin collections hoping to uncover one of these legendary coins. Imagine finding a penny that could pay off your mortgage, buy a new car, or even change your life forever. That's why this hobby continues to captivate people of all ages. The 1958 no-mint mark penny is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of history, craftsmanship, and rarity. Its nearly $1 million value shows how much collectors appreciate perfection and uniqueness. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner just getting started, learning about coins like this can inspire you to look at everyday change with new eyes. So next time you come across an old wheat penny, take a moment to study it closely. You never know, that tiny coin might be the key to a hidden fortune.